So, welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm the Drunken Goth, and today we are continuing with this old gal. Obviously in the last video we gave it a quick check over, checked the paintwork, had a quick look around the engine bay, stuff like that. So next port of call is we're going to get this up on stands, so we're going to get the wheels off, and have a good look round and give it a proper full inspection. So back to the video. So obviously in the first part we did inspect a lot of the paintwork, and of course we've already decided what the plan is with that. We're going to more or less have the full car resprayed. So we will focus mainly on the mechanicals in this video, as we know pretty much where we're going now with the paintwork. So obviously slacken off those wheels, and then we will look to get the jack involved, get it up and get it on some axle stands. So for the GT4 we can see the jacking point. Basically what we usually do is we can jack straight on that roll bar going across there, and that should pick the entire car up quite comfortably. And then once we've got it up, you can just see underneath here we can put a couple of axle stands, one on either side, on those chassis rails. So it's probably important just to mention, while we are waiting for the car to be jacked up, that some of you may notice there are various things we are not even bothering to check whilst doing this inspection. Now that's not because I can't remember or I completely forget. It's more because there's certain things I'm going to do as a matter of course anyway. So it's like once we know one of the bushes is gone, we're probably going to be pretty sure that all of the other ones in similar locations are in the same state. So we know we're going to do the lot anyway. So just a little note to say that obviously if you're noticing some things I'm not checking, that's because they will be done regardless, based on the condition of the other things we see around it. Plenty of copper grease on the bolts. Does mean it's been looked after. Nobody's just rattled them in with an air gun. They've probably been torqued up nicely. Always a good thing. Right, so what can we see behind here? Well, instantly some of the bushes probably need attention. We're also going to get this wheel arch cover out, this arch liner, so we can get to, we're going to need it out anyway for the cam belts, but it's always worth taking it out now while we're inspecting the car properly, get a good look around everything, see what's happening behind all these covers and stuff like that, and we'll see where we are. So, looking in the arch, we obviously have the front pulley, aircon pump, water pump, belt guards for cam belts. See up there. Shocks look okay, there's no cracked springs or anything, but I think we'll probably do something with those. However, what we have spotted is these bushes. As you can see, the bushes are quite perished. So this side, again on the inner, and of course on the inside just there, those inner bushes definitely require a bit of attention. So we don't even have to get the pry bar on these, we know straight away looking at those they are going to need placement. So on the drop link as well, drop link bushes underneath. So again, we will probably put this car down for a rear bush kit, because if this is how one side is, then you're pretty much guaranteed that the other side's going to be the same. So we don't really even have to look at the other side. We will check out the entire car, but initially I am thinking a rear bush kit, which is good. It's good in a way, because by doing that, all the wishbones are going to come off, the shock's going to come out, and that gives us the opportunity then to send everything away for powder coating as well, so everything should come back very, very clean, very shiny new. Let's have a look at the brakes. Brake pads are good. Calipers probably not had any tension in a while. Looking through the back there, that looks like a relatively new exhaust manifold, so we shall get that correctly coloured. The drive shaft, a bit rusty, but nothing that won't clean up. The actual boot is okay, both inner and outer. And let's have a bit of a look underneath. So quite oily under here, but nothing really that screams major problem. So far, the only things that I have seen are pretty much bodywork issues. They seem to be the main thing on this. So as you can see around this arch, we're going to need some panels sorting on this rear arch, and of course where we've seen on the initial check over around here, that's not looking great at all. But nothing we cannot sort, nothing we cannot make like new. So moving round to the other side. Get that last bolt slackened. So on the initial check round, we did think the wheels probably not in the best condition, and on a restoration anyway, I think it always makes a hell of a difference to the car to have extremely fresh looking wheels. So we'd already planned on getting these wheels completely refurbished, sending them away, having them stripped, blasted, powder coated, powder lacquered, balanced, and some fresh centres. Right, again, inner wheel arch out. But straight away, initial impressions, yet again, those bushes, same with the drop links, they will need some attention. One more. So as you can see, wheel arch just folds out of the way. Pipe clip to the back. That out the way. Right. So in here we have the bell housing, drop gear casing, fuel filter. We will replace those fuel lines as they are not looking brilliant. We've got coils just up there, very rusty. We'll probably replace those regardless. But generally, that looks a relatively new oil pressure sender unit, so that has probably been done fairly recently. Not too bad. Again, we've got a similar thing. The bushes do not look great. Focus there. And on the other side, just starting to perish. So it's definitely going to need a rear bush kit. But as we say, we do like that. That will make all the difference to what the car looks like from the suspension point of view. Gives us the opportunity, as I say, to have everything powder coated so everything looks as good as new. So we have no issue doing that at all. Down the front there, as you can see, you do get a fair bit of room around the block, but it's when trying to get to that cylinder head, unless the engine's out, getting to that cylinder head can be a bit tricky. That oil pipe to the oil cooler is non-original. We will have to replace that. The bottom one just looks genuine, so that is fine. Generally though, not too bad. Pretty much what we expected. Not a massive amount of work. So far the biggest things that we will be doing to this essentially is the huge cam belt service, including valve clearances, auxiliary belts, stuff like that. And so far just a rear suspension rebuild. Everything else should be just cosmetic. Looking around the exhaust and stuff like that, that apart from it not being the correct colours is fine. So we're still pretty happy. We're still pretty happy with this. Let's just see about these engine mounts. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on that. Not much play in the engine mount. Just about to see there. No, engine mounts are fine. We will of course check the other side. But again, so far we're pretty happy with this. Pretty much what we expected. So, back looking around the top of the engine. And again, from what we can see for the most part, it's purely cosmetic. There doesn't seem to be any major issues. We don't see a lot of oil, we don't see a lot of fuel leaking around. Checking down here, nothing you wouldn't expect. So nothing, no major oil leaks, weeps. A lot of it is, right, these hose clips we'll change this pipe work, get it all back to looking as good as new. The leads, again, all clean up. This will all clean up. This will all clean up nicely. Fuel pipes, we'll change the fuel pipes and put it on the fabric overbraided. Not the ones that have been made illegal because they soak up the fuel and end up catching fire, but we have an equivalent that we can use that is acceptable for Classiche. These nuts on the airbox, they should be a knurled nuts that you can do by hand rather than the 10mm Nylox. But this airbox is coming off anyway. We're going to have this re-crackle painted, get this looking as good as new. There should be another one of these type of clips on that side. Luckily we have plenty of that. These dome nuts are wrong. These are a solid dome nut, whereas it should be plating over brass, I believe. Basically the type of dome nut, you'll see when we get the cam covers off, and I'll show you one of the genuine ones. But it's very easy to knock the tops off them on the genuine ones, but that is what should be affixed to it. These should clean up nicely. Again, nothing too major there. We already have a carb rebuild kit, so we will be stripping down these carburetors and rebuilding them. And of course we will get into the big service. So once these cam covers are off, the belt guards are off, we'll do things like the tensioner bearings, carbs off, have the valve clearances checked and adjusted. All relatively easy stuff on this engine, because it's a very friendly car for people to work on. But again, it's something you can make very nice. You can make these cars look absolutely stunning. I love this engine. I've always been a big fan of these engines in the GT4s and the GTBs, so this should be quite a pleasure to work on. So, checking around the inside. Yep, that works. Windows. Very slow to go up, so we'll probably have to rebuild the motor in that door. This side, just again up. Perfect. Oh, the door light works fine. Obviously we're going to fix that. Right, so with the hazards on, let's have a look round the car. So only one, oh no, she's trying to come to life. But at the minute we only have one. Front, yeah. Only one side, so that is likely going to be a relay or something. So that's on the hazard switch. Let's try indicators. Annoying alarm system. Right, so we definitely have something going on there. So the bulbs haven't gone, but we definitely have some kind of issue with the indicators. Both lights work, high and low beam, and side lights. We're happy with that. Right, so the wipers aren't keen on working, but the washers do work. Fans work. So the wipers work on slow speed, but not keen on high. So we've definitely got an issue to sort there. But electronics issues in that fuse box that's behind that panel are not uncommon on these. So we know we're looking at electrics as well on this. So we have just checked around the front suspension as well. I forgot to press record, unfortunately, but not much to see, and in fact that does tie up with what I found in the service history, as it's not been that long since this car's had basically a full overhaul of the front suspension. So new bushes, wishbones have been powder coated already, shocks look in good condition, and it's can't remember the year, but in the past couple of years it's had brand new brake calipers on the front as well, so they're in excellent condition as well. So not really a lot to do to that other than a good clean up, just make sure everything's 100%. But for now, with the amount of work that we found on the rear of the car, we're going to focus on that for now. We're going to focus on trying to get that rear end stripped down. First of all, getting the big service done, and then moving on to the suspension, trying to get as much of the suspension done as possible, get it looking as good as new. Obviously, the aim is still quite possibly going for Classiche. May alter, we may just go for very, very good rather than an actual Classiche level. Obviously we would like to put it through Classiche, we've done GT4s before, but we will just have to see, we'll have to see what kind of budget we're working with, because we do have some other projects coming up, so we may have to keep an eye on the budget so that we don't end up rebuilding the entire car from scratch. So, but again, keep an eye on the channel, check back, tell me what you think in the comments, and more videos to come with the work as it progresses.